I've had. This is something that probably, by the way, just one question to start. So how many of you are bloggers or website owners? How many of you are serious businesses? I mean, big ones like Delphi. Okay.
Bigger.
Very nice. Okay. So basically, I think that this our experience is something which is beneficial to all of you, and I think that the thing that I'm going to talk about is we experienced first, because we are so big as we are. At one point, well, actually we don't know where this will lead, but at one point, all the same problems could also apply to you. So, just to be on a common grounds, I listed here what I think or what I mean by the user-created content. So it's basically everything which is on your site, but is beyond your control. So somebody else is creating that. Somebody else is posting on your site. Somebody else is writing something, putting up the photos, videos, or whatever. And that is a vast amount of this. And this is the area which is developing all the time. So basically, like 3 months ago, I probably wouldn't have Twitter on that slide yet, but these things came happening. Now, next slide is World Wide Web ages ago. You all probably know that. This means that there are some home pages, somebody is updating them, maybe on a daily basis. You know, you have to be a geek or a freak to do something on a web or to publish. But you would be surprised how many people not in this room still think that way. And this is something that I'm seeing every day from the media, I mean traditional media, and this is something that I was, well, now having had some experience also in a court of law, dealing with these kind of problems. This is something that you will see there. So if you tell to the judge that, well, you know, this is World Wide Web and, you know, this is common publishing fraud, what is that? I don't know. So basically, most of the people out there, the legislators, they think the old way. So this is the picture that they have. They don't know anything about the blogs, anything about podcasting, anything about some social networking. They don't know. Anyhow, this is yesterday's Alexa Top 50. And this is, you probably know as well. So I marked in red all the sites that rely on the user-created content. So basically, if you come to this common thinking of what the web is, then they think that, okay, there are probably CNN and BBC and porn. And the funny thing is that the first porn site is on the 35th place, and this is again the user-created porn. It's not some business. And the first sort of news site, traditional one, is on the 55th place. And this, probably they don't know. And every time I show that slide to such audience, they are really, really amazed. Okay, but now there are some problems appearing for this old-time people. First, of course, is the media is out of control. So it used to be that for many, many times, the sort of media has had the freedom, but anyway, there was somebody controlling the channels. So you couldn't publish. And this is definitely a visible problem for many, many people, especially in this establishment of society. And then, of course, the rhetorics go like, this is degradation of quality of the written word. So what? Basically, if when Gutenberg invented his printing press, then also was the same rhetorics. They said that, okay, you know, now everybody can print, and it's not written in manuscripts for years. So the written word will degrade. Okay, maybe it's degraded, but what happened? Middle Ages ended after that degradation. Okay, so yes, probably it will degrade the quality of written word, but so what? So it's a normal evolutionary process. And then will come more specific things, which are more hot issues. Fear of lost privacy. This is definitely a hot topic and an important one. Anyhow, I think that this is something that can be overcome, and even if there are no exact procedures or good solutions yet to protect your privacy 100%, I think there will be. Then there is a fear of abusing somebody. Of course, this fear has been there, and this has always been there. So anybody can go also to the streets and say that somebody is stupid, somebody is homosexual, whatever. And this, that again, in the internet, you might reach a wider audience by saying that. This is just an evolution. It's not a problem in itself. So I think that the problem is somewhere else. And one interesting thing is also why traditional media is sort of supporting these all these or blowing these problems bigger, because definitely from the traditional media side they fear the lost revenue, and this is obvious all over the world, especially in last year. All printed medias have lost quite significantly on the subscriber base, and also their advertising revenue is falling. So therefore, this traditional media is eagerly supporting and trying to show these problems even in wider scale, so that what you have on the internet, because this is just a competition. Okay, so but where does the Delphi come into play if we talk about the user-created content? So we, in many sense, we might seem on that conference at least also quite traditional already. So we have been there for 8 years. We have been doing mostly the same thing for 8 years. So we are not maybe so hot in blogging areas or whatever, but anyway, I think that we even kickstarted this user-created content on the internet as such by launching the commentaries in 2000. So right now we are having around 50 million commentaries on Delphi sites, which is one hell of a bunch of user-created content. And 20,000 commentaries are added each day. So, and of course we have forums, we have blogs, we have photo site, we have videos, and so on. So basically, it all is there. So we know a little bit about this. But now let's take a turn. I will show you a real-world case with offending content. So you see what is written here. Somebody has written on a wall to calls for action to kill Arabs. So, is it a manifestation of freedom of speech? Probably yes, but this is something that also we have to keep in mind, that freedom of speech is not a universal human right. So it's a human right that you can use, but without causing the harm to others. And this is, by the way, written everywhere in this documents and basic human rights documents, that yes, freedom of speech is there, but you have to assure that nobody gets harmed if you exercise your freedom of speech. So, okay, this is then offense, because Arabs probably are offended, maybe even threatened if somebody takes it seriously and starts to kill them. Okay. So, questions arise. Who's responsible? If there is offense, somebody has to be responsible. What if the offender is anonymous? If in that case he probably is. And what happens if he can't be found? So, in the real world, who would you blame? The owner of the house? No. Probably no. The guy who sold the paint? Again, no. The manufacturer who produced the paint? No. The janitor who did not wipe this out quickly enough? No. You probably will try to find the guy who wrote this text. And this is where this analogy of the real world somehow is not working on the internet. And this is where the fun begins, for us at least. So, the first thing, something of such a thing appears, for example, in commentaries in Delphi. And the question arises, who is the publisher? So, in our case, what we think that we have on the Delphi site user-created content and our editorial content for what we take full responsibility quite well separated. So basically you have to push a button to go and read the commentaries. There are all kinds of disclaimers which say that these commentaries are written by users, they don't represent Delphi point of view, blah blah blah, and so on. Okay, we do not review or preview the content that is posted on Delphi. We do not change it. There is a possibility to report bad comments, which is clearly visible. And we use this notice and takedown procedure, which I don't know how many of you are aware of that, which is basically the de facto procedure in use everywhere. So this means that if you are noticed about the bad content on your site, and if you, within the reasonable time, take action against it, then you cannot be liable, or cannot be held liable for that. And this is working all over the Europe. But there is no exact law covering this. This is just self-made regulation. Okay, but anyway, we use that. So basically we get noticed, we take this problematic content down. So, and the fun part, used in court against us. And now this is the real court cases I'm talking about. Well, they say that, but you are mixing this content, and you are using these comments to make your content better, or your site better. What the hell? Everybody is trying to make their site better. This is everybody's right. But again, for people in the legislative system, this big button which says that you have to push here to go and read the commentaries is not enough separation. They are not on one page. They are on the separate pages. The page has a disclaimer which says that we are not responsible what is on that page because we are not posting this. It's not enough. Okay. But then, Delphi is a very large media organization, and by posting the commentary there, you get massive publication. So where's the difference? Why massive publication is somehow, in the eyes of the law, worse than small publication? So it means like if you have a small newspaper which has 100 readers, then you can publish all the shit there. But if you have a big one, then you can't. No, you can't make that kind of discrimination. Then Delphi is not fast enough to react, because even if 5 minutes such a comment is up there, then probably thousands of people have read it already, you know. Okay, maybe yes, but then again, it's not in our vision our responsibility. Okay, then you get this every time. Such things would never have been happened in public, in a real world newspaper. And especially you have to keep your eye on that one. So why you don't monitor what is happening in your site. And especially then they say, you do this because you want to spare your money, because you don't want to hire people to monitor. And you, greedy capitalist, you want to profit, you know. But this is not so. We are getting 20,000 commentaries per day. There is no reasonable force to monitor all this. And by the way, the best thing I have heard in the court is, Delphi is benefiting from the comments. Of course we are. Why the hell we are doing this? But not only we are benefiting from this. Our users are benefiting from this. Because this is why they are actually going there. This is why they are reading this, because they are getting additional information. And by the way, we are not benefiting from these especially bad comments which just say that, I don't know, I would like to have sex with the mothers of all the other commentators or whatever. Because this is not, and this is not in our interest as well. But it is very hard to somehow to communicate this to the court. Okay. Anyway, there are certain documents which can be based upon, and I think for you it's beneficial to know. So first of all, there is a declaration on freedom of communication on the internet, which this is actually marked in red, the important part, which is basically saying that you cannot force anybody to monitor content on the internet. So there is no obligation of doing that. And you cannot be held liable if you are just transmitting the information.
Sorry, is it in Estonian law? Or?
No, it's Council of Europe, Declaration of Committee of Ministers. But the important document is that one, which is called 2000/31 EC. It's the Directive on Electronic Commerce. And this specifically says that service provider is not liable for the information if he does not have actual knowledge of illegal activity, and if he, upon obtaining that knowledge, does something to solve the situation. And again, this says that there is no obligation to monitor. Anyhow, what you should know about this document, if you see this, it is amended in 2000. So basically it was prepared somewhere in 1990s, probably 96, 97, if you take into account how long it takes, how long this process in EU takes. So basically there is this somebody who's not or who should not be held liable and so on is defined as intermediary service provider. And this is the main topic of fights if you would end up in a court, because this, and there has been no court cases yet in EU where this would have been solved. So actually there is no actual case so far. And this is a question, who is that? Because if you read all these documents that were used in the preparation of this law, then at that point there were no bloggers, no YouTube, no Flickr, no nothing. So basically, which is something that is for all of us not better to spread, but this document was prepared keeping in mind mostly ISPs, the traditional ISPs, the internet service providers, or the guys who provide with the cable. Anyhow, it's written, I would say, in a very good, foreseeing manner. So it actually applies to much wider audience, and it's applicable. But again, the guys, the legislators, and especially the lawyers who do not know anything about the internet but start to dig into the documents when the case arrives, they will dig also into these roots of this this document, and they will dig out that basically it was meant to protect the ISPs. And this is something that this fight, somebody has to fight it. And I'm afraid that we might be the one who will do it for the EU. Okay, and there is some of terminology issues within that. So basically, this Article 14 says that you are not liable if you store the data. So it doesn't specify whether the storing also means that you can somehow publish the stored data, which is kind of in a gray area. And then there is another article which says that there is another way of doing business on the internet is called caching, which is sort of like storing the data temporarily and then passing on. So maybe this will apply to the publishing. We even tried this in a court. And the funny thing was that we said that basically, which is true, that when basically the commentary section in Delphi is like a tool for one commentator to pass his opinions to other commentators, which is very right. But the court said, okay, but you were not providing this only for the commentators to pass this or to exchange the information, but you are also making your site better using this. And this is bad. Okay. But the fight is not over yet. So, a few words about the real cases. So, as I said, there are no such poster case for that, as far as I know in the Europe. I think one for you all is good to know is the Aftonbladet case, which is probably very well known in legislative with the legislative people, and which is quite cited. This happened in Sweden, where a Swedish newspaper, Aftonbladet, in their forums was some pro-Nazi guys posted some things. And in the end, Aftonbladet was fined. The chief editor got fined, like, I don't remember exactly, 500 euros or 5,000 euros or something like this. But there is a but, which they do not say normally if they try to hit you with that one. Aftonbladet was informed about the posting in the forum, and they deliberately decided not to take it down in order to create some fuss. And then, of course, it's very natural. And then this goes to this notice and takedown procedure, and basically does the same as this EC 2000/31 says. So they were knowing that this was there, and they didn't act, and they were fined. And that's okay. But anyway, if this comes up, then the first thing that everybody says is, oh, but this Aftonbladet case, they got fined, but because of that. Which is not exactly the same, because they deliberately left this up. And then there are two interesting cases which is not well known, and I don't know actually also in relation to our different court cases how this will play out in the end. But basically there was one guy in Estonia who wrote the commentary in Delphi, by the way. Where else? And sort of like, kill all the Jews or something like this. And he was actually, I think by the way, yes, this is a criminal offense because it's a problem of national hatred and so on. So, and he got fined, and actually this case went all through the Supreme Court of Estonia, and nobody even thought of suing, for example, Delphi for providing him the means to do this bad thing. And there was another case in Lithuania where one guy who made bomb threats against some shopping chain, also in Delphi commentaries. was found guilty as well. So, but anyway, there is no such well-known poster case yet. But let's go further. More fun. This will come out also in the discussions. What if this offender is anonymous? So you can't actually, you can't find somebody and pinpoint that he is the one. And there is the Declaration of Freedom of Communication on the Internet, which says that member states should respect the will of users to stay anonymous. So there is, it is normal, you know, you can stay anonymous. But then the next case, okay, he's anonymous, but if he cannot be identified, then who will we sue them? Who will we put in jail? You know, who will we fine? But this is funny thing, because in the normal world, if the guy who wrote this text on the wall, and you will not find him, so will you then think that, okay, but I can't find this guy, but okay, then let's beat the house owner? No. But somehow this happens in the internet. And I say that this is basically the state should do its work. So if this prosecution system is so weak that they cannot find any offender, so is it fair to go against somebody that they can just find? No. And at least in Estonia, I think that Estonia has made quite good progress in that area. In Estonia, there is a law when you can start the so-called John Doe process, even in civil cases, which means that you can go and sue somebody you don't know. So basically, somebody said that you are, I don't know, HIV carrying homosexual, blah 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 and stuff, and you don't know him, and you can go in court against him by saying that I will sue him, but I don't know, but during this process we will find out. So, but this is okay. So basically, there is a possibility to find an offender during the process, and then which is going all over Europe is the same. The access to the log files. So basically, this is by the way something that especially telecommunications companies were fighting against very hardly because they have to invest hell a lot of money to keep all these log files. But basically today there is a possibility to go and ask that, okay, the comment was written from IP address that and that, and go and check who was using that computer. And even if this is some not fixed address by the log files, this can be found. Of course, there can be additional problems. I even remember in Estonia was one case when one member of parliament was writing rude comments about another member of parliament. But then, and they found out it very quickly. And then he said that, okay, but I was not at home, and somebody came to my home and wrote it from my computer. Okay, but this possibility is always there. Anyway, to sum it up, now I have given you a little bit of information. Where is the threat for us, or why do we need this information? First of all, I think that the same possible offense in commentaries posted to our blog, site, whatever, can be used, and it's not only commentaries, it can be photos, videos, whatever, can be used to try to control or silence media. And this is definitely the tool for the old-timers who already think that media has gotten out of the hands, and this is a very good one. This is, by the way, is happening in Estonia right now, where our Minister of Justice is attacking Delfi once a week, I think. And that is, he uses these specific techniques. So, first of all, it is creation of negative attitude towards user-created content, you know, by saying that, well, there is no meaningful things there, it's only some bullshitting, it's just offending each other, people whose IQ is above 70 do not write comments, and so on. You know. Then the second thing is this hype towards personal rights. So, you know, your privacy can be offended there. Somebody can post your phone number there. Somebody, you know, can call your names there, and so on. And you cannot protect yourself. And you know, if somebody calls you the bad name in the commentary and 10,000 people will read it, and then you are ruined for your life and so on. Yes, but this is a problem, but this problem has been always there. If somebody would have written on the wall that this guy is stupid or this guy is whatever, so, and 10,000 people happen to, for example, drive by this wall every day, so it's the same problem. And of course, one rhetorics that they use to make this problem bigger, and especially in Estonian case, this Minister of Justice, every time he turns to the people and asks that you should go and protect your rights and go sue Delphi. And of course, why is that? It's the easiest target to hit. And also, if we talk about this legislative system, so it's easier to go against Delphi than to go against some guy somewhere. Because first, Delphi probably got the money, you know, they are capitalists, they are earning. First, then you know where to find them. And this is a very easy target. And then of course, but how this applies to you? It's now we are the easy target. And now we are big enough. But at one point, if anybody of you will grow to a certain limit, and it appears that you might also make some money out of your internet business, then it's a very easy target. And what would be easier to go to your site, write bad commentary about myself, and then sue you? and write this commentary from some internet cafe, and then sue you. And this is, by the way, why this European Union Act was passed, and why I think it's a good one, and which protects us. And then, of course, but in any case, even if somebody does this to you, then you have one hell of a legal cost to protect you, because this topic is so complicated. I think in Estonia, for example, there are 3 lawyers which know something about this topic, or are able to sort of discuss this. And you can imagine how much they cost, because they're free in Estonia. Okay, so what to do? I think that it's for all our benefit. It's this establishment of communication of conduct, which means that I think that we don't have a common body in Estonia or in the Baltics or anywhere. I don't know, maybe there is in Latvia, which says that, okay, but let's inform the users in that way, and let's sort of unify our disclaimers and so on. The second thing is, of course, if you are having a hot topic on your site, then try to monitor it. Then third thing is, I think everybody of us has to go out and spread this awareness regarding this responsibility line. So where where the line of the published content and user-created content lies, because this is definitely an alien topic to anybody outside probably this conference. And then, of course, we can teach social conscience, so do not write bad comments. We have to notify the users about their responsibilities. And, of course, it's always good to use audience to detect the problem. So in Delphi, there are several ways to report about bad content, and all these are very used, and we also are getting good feedback from all this. Okay, so then for you as well, consult with good lawyers, and very important one, keep your log files. Okay, and spread the word. So basically all that you heard today, I think the more people know about these problems, the more people are aware of that, the easier the life for all of us will be. So Questions?
Subject, but I wonder how big percentage of all your comments are in this category of offensive comments. How
0.5%.
Yeah, so we're talking about, this is what I wanted to say, we're talking about nothing. And
Yes, especially.
Well,